Hey, what's going on guys, StarGuy34 here, back with another video. In today's video we are continuing with the alternative future of the world, part wherever it is. If you're going to enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll dive right into it. In the last video we saw a great war take place over here in Asia, and we also saw the Spanish Civil War and the invasions of former colonies in Northern Africa. So let's talk about empires. Now, obviously there are empires that have gone in the decline over the past few videos, including the British, the French, and the Russian, which now has ceased to exist, as now it is now only Siberia up here. However, some empires have in fact been able to go on a sort of renaissance, including the Germans, and Austria-Hungary. However, another empire that has been on the rise lately is the Ottoman Empire, especially after they won their war with Iran and Saudi Arabia, and they have managed to annex large areas of land in Greece and Egypt. However, that is the extent of what the Ottoman Empire is able to do, as there's a lot of unrest in the empire. Now, as you can see, they have pretty much no allies, and a lot of people want freedom. A lot of people want independence, as they have seen lots of countries, especially down here in Africa, gain their independence recently. So in 1936 we see that the Ottoman Empire has to deal with a rebellion down here in Egypt that was annexed after the war with the British Empire. And we see that a large rebellion breaks out around the Suez and Cairo area. And immediately the Ottoman Empire sends their forces down here. However, most of them are over here due to the previous war. However, following this, we also have another rebellion break out over here in Greece, with much of the northern parts of it going over to the rebels, and only the south remaining loyal to the Ottoman Empire. Following this, we do see another rebellion breakout, and that is the Gulf Rebellion breakout around Kuwait area, and this is quickly expanded upon. Now, each of these three rebellions are backed by certain countries. Greece is backed by countries like Italy, Austria-Hungary, and Bulgaria. The Gulf Rebellion is supported by Iran and Saudi Arabia. And Egypt's rebellion is supported by Sudan, Ethiopia, and all these countries down here in the south. Let's dive right into the rebellion. We see the expansion of a small expansion of the Gulf Rebellion. However, this is slow, as most of the army is over here. Following this, we see mass success over here in Egypt, as they completely cut off the Ottoman Empire from the rest of Egypt, and they quickly take over much of the north, quickly capturing all of the coastline. And from here, Egypt pretty much goes to the rebels, as most of the Egyptian population does in fact want independence alongside them. However, they are ambitious, as they try to gain some land out of their core territory, which they do so successfully. Following this, we see Greece completely kick out Ottoman forces on their main island and capture this island, which holds Athens, and they quickly capture the entire island, and now they focus on Crete. However, with this new development, we see two countries take advantage of the situation, as they see as a good chance to gain some land off the crumbling Ottoman Empire. And this includes Bulgaria and the Soviet Union, and both countries enter into Turkey on both sides. And with this, the Ottoman Empire is just collapsing. However, they do see some success as they begin to push back the Gulf Rebellion down here. However, this is only minor, as they are facing much opposition all around the empire. And following this, this has basically spelled the end for the Ottoman Empire, as we see a small detachment of Saudi Arabian troops enter the border from the south, not formally declaring war, but also just entering the country entirely. And Bulgaria begins to even approach Istanbul itself, and they nearly even capture the city. However, this is Istanbul, so it is heavily defended. Following this, we do see a Russian landing on the north from the Black Sea, which is quickly expanded upon, and they move in towards Istanbul. As we see Saudi Arabian troops even enter into the west, as they completely cut off this entire area from here, and that area pretty much falls over to them. And following this, we actually see Istanbul itself, after weeks of fighting, finally fall to Bulgaria and Russian forces. And now the empire pretty much falls apart, with multiple independence movements going across the empire, including down here around the Syria area and around Kurdistan area, and the center of the country. And following this, we pretty much have the Ottoman Empire surrender over to Russia. Time to look at this peace treaty. Alright then, so looking at this very messy peace treaty, the Middle East basically is very ugly. I might change some of these borders later on because they're very wiggly. But for now, this is what we'll go with. In the west, we see Greece gain independence, and as well as Bulgaria gain some territory from Thrace. In Turkey itself, Russia sets up a puppet government in Anatolia and takes some territory in the east. We also see the independence of Iraq, Kuwait, a large area over here. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Probably Mesopotamia. And we see Syria gain independence, as well as Egypt gain independence. We also see Saudi Arabia annex all of the Ottoman Empire's previous peninsular territory. And finally, we see the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire itself, with this being left as Turkey. Now, following this, oh, I need to update this. I'm gonna have to update this later on, but following this, we do see two countries join Russia's alliance, and that being Azerbaijan down here, as well as Greece. The rest of them remain neutral for now. But for now, that leaves the Ottoman Empire being an empire no more, and this area pretty much becoming a neutral territory. You know, tensions aren't really on the rise. However, Iran and Saudi Arabia have influence over here, as well as Russia, as well as the Soviet Union having influence over the Middle East, with a possible pact being formed between Saudi Arabia and Iran being very likely. Last episode, we did see, as I said before, Morocco and Tunisia were invaded by Italy and Spain, and Italy wants to continue that streak as they believe that they are the successors of the Roman Empire, and so they decide to declare war on Ethiopia from their colony of Somalia. However, there's a problem with this. In modern times, this happens in the 1930s, around where this video is taking place, and a lot of East Africa, in fact all of East Africa except from Ethiopia, was still colonized by the Europeans. However, now none of East Africa is colonized, and they wanted to stay that way. And so Sudan, the Central African Republic, and Kenya all joined the war on the side of Ethiopia in order to kick out the Europeans out of Africa once and for all. And so, after a small Italian campaign in Ethiopia itself with seeing minor success, we see an instant pushback by Ethiopia. We see a slight pushback by Ethiopia with some Italian forces remaining in the country. With this surprise attack, Sudan manages to launch an offensive in the north into Somalia, with them cutting off pretty much the entirety of that region. You also see Kenya make a move in from the south. However, as these are recently independent countries, their militaries are not very good, so Ethiopia is pretty much carrying them during this war. With this, we do in fact see Ethiopia completely push out the Italian army as they launch a full-scale offensive into the colony. And this whole deal is pretty much swift, as Somalia is not a superpower in its own right, and Italy thought this would be a quick war. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it just does not last long, as all of Somalia pretty much falls over to the combined efforts of the East African Alliance. Next, we do in fact see Sudan suggest to his allies that an invasion into Libya would be beneficial in order to completely kick them out. However, this isn't what the rest of them want, because they've already kicked out Italy from Somalia. Libya can come later, and so they decide to make peace with Italy, and Italy says no to this, and so Italy unfortunately has to give in to their demands. And let's see what those demands are. And in this peace treaty, we can see that Somalia pretty much is just reduced to its southern portion, with land going over to Kenya, Ethiopia, and Somaliland, and Sudan, where actually Sudan grants Somaliland independence on the condition that they stay allies to the rest of East Africa. And another term of this peace treaty was the formation of the East African Alliance. And this new alliance was to ensure that the Europeans officially stay out of Africa once and for all. And so they will launch campaigns in order to fully kick the Europeans out of Africa. And then from there, pretty much nothing happens. However, we do see some things happen. We do see the independence of some colonies, as this is around the time. And that includes Canada, but the British do keep Newfoundland, as well as them sticking to the Allies' side. And we also see the independence of New Zealand take place. However, Australia is still in the Empire. And for now, New Zealand opts to leave the Allies, because they pretty much have no reason to stay in it. And that's actually going to do it for this video of the alternative future world. I thought, as this video is, I've been recording for 20 minutes now, really, in 20 minutes. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, and yeah, the format for my video, I'm going to be back for weekly videos now, and I hope you are looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.